Going home was really memorable. And I remember the pilot going, "We have now left Vietnamese airspace." Should have heard the cheer that went up in the plane. I mean, I bet you they heard us in Vietnam. And then going up the driveway to see my dad, I had tears in my eyes, and he had tears in his. It was pretty emotional. Good to be back.
Favorite thing, coming home.
It was a rip-roaring, snorting time when they finally said that the war was over and then you're in San Francisco. I mean, oh man, it was fun.
I love the parades and the marching.
Probably the traveling. I mean, you know, you're 18 years old, get to see the world.
If you showed up in New York City in a uniform, second lieutenant or below, and I was just out of OCS, you saw any Broadway show free. My buddies and I saw every show on Broadway.
And the girls like to kiss you. Girls that you never saw before in your life and will never see again, would run up and give you, if you had a uniform on, they'd give you a big hug and a kiss. And when you turned around to say thanks, they were a block away.
The German beer Oktoberfest that's held in September. And my buddy and I went there, and my buddy was handsome enough to be a movie star. So every girls we happened to encounter, I got choice number 2, but choice number 2 was way better than choice number 1 I could have ever done on my own.
I remember coming back from R&R. I was in Hawaii at Christmas time. And we have these red flares, that means we're under attack. Well, New Year's Eve, I come back to the fire base and all of a sudden all these flares are going off. Well, they were celebrating New Year's Eve and here I am going, oh God, we got a real big attack, you know?
The doctor didn't show up. The nurse had me to go with her and she delivered the baby and I give ether. I've never given anesthetic before, so that was my first job on the anesthesiologist. I dropped the ether 3 drops at a time until I started falling asleep. And then she had to say, "Betty, wake up." And I, oh, okay. But we made it.
And my boss was showing me all of the places in Vietnam I was responsible for advising on, and one of them was the garbage dump. And we were in his Jeep right next to that garbage dump with smoke coming out of the garbage dump, and shots rang out and bounced over the Jeep, and my boss had hit it, and we got under the Jeep, and he started cussing, and I thought, well, they are the enemy, and they're supposed to be shooting at us. I don't know why he's so mad. And he said, I've told those blankety blank blanks 1,000 times not to throw old ammo in the garbage dump.
When we entered this town of Udenbosch, the little kids who came out and was passing apples out to us and waving at us as we went by.
They gave us a steak dinner at 3 in the morning at the air base when we were processing out. Tasted pretty darn good, even no matter what the time.
I think we'd made 3 or 4 beachings with troops and came back to load up again from these big transports. And as the soldiers were climbing down onto our ship, I was inspecting the ramps alongside to make sure we were okay for our next beaching. And it was right by a big porthole, and it was the galley. And here was a cook in there slicing off great big pieces of roast beef. We'd had nothing but K rations for days. And man, I looked at that and drooled. He said, "You all like a roast beef sandwich?" I said, "Man, would I?" And he made a sandwich for every man in my crew. It still gets me.
I had a lot of nice girls, very nice girls.
The sense of brotherhood and the sense of sisterhood.
Veterans, just anybody that that has had that closeness with other people and put their life in other people's hands, and vice versa. You know, they're responsible for other people's lives. You can't replace that.
Knowing that I had a sense of belonging in a family that was bigger than mine, if I could sum all of my experiences up.
Would I go back in if I had the chance now? I don't think they've got an old man's brigade.